What's going on, guys? It's Brian, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the three types of traffic and which one you should focus on. So, if you already know what these types of traffic are, it's going to be basically a refresher for you, and it won't be anything new. But if you don't know what the three types of traffic are that you should focus in terms of internet marketing, then definitely keep watching because this is going to be a really brief, high level overview of what you should focus on whenever you're doing any sort of digital marketing, social media marketing, etc. Okay, let's get started. So first, let's start off with the definition of traffic. So obviously traffic is not the kind of traffic that most people would think about when they hear the term traffic. It's not the traffic that you would experience at rush hour when you're going to or from work. It's not the traffic that you might see when you're on the train and then you just can't get from one place to another, or it's not the traffic that you're trying to walk from the bus station onto somewhere else because it's just so congested and then you just can't make it to your destination on time, right? Obviously that's not. Obviously that's the offline, real world adaptation terminology of the term traffic, right? So we're going to talk about the internet traffic. So internet traffic is essentially data flowing across the internet. Can't get more simple than that. So downloads, data transfers, etc. So if you are streaming some sort of movie or show on Netflix and it's really slow, and say for example there's other people in the house kind of using your internet and the quality of your show isn't that good, or it might not even load whatsoever, that would be considered a very high traffic situation where it's just a slowing down of data flowing across the internet. Okay, so that's where the internet traffic terminology basically means. Now, in marketing speak, traffic is essentially visitors to a website or a web page. Okay, so traffic is like a synonym for visitors. So if you have no visitors to a website, you're not going to have any income because nobody's going to see your offer and nobody's going to see who you are, right? So, for example, the top three websites with the most traffic are Google, YouTube, and Facebook, and in that order. So the entire planet Earth, the top three websites is most people go on Google, right? When they go search for stuff, YouTube to watch videos, and Facebook to socialize, etc., right? To be on social media or to share pictures of cats and dogs, tag each other in memes, stuff like that. So that is a definition of traffic. And especially you got to keep this in mind when you're doing any form of internet marketing, because a lot of people don't really think about the context of where the traffic comes from. And that's what we're going to get into today. So the three traffic sources that I'm going to be talking about, and the three traffic sources that basically is the entire topic of this video, is number one, traffic you do not control. Number two, traffic you control or traffic that you do control. And number three, traffic that you own. Now let's start with the first one, traffic you do not control. Basically, these include general search queries, social media posts, etc., where you have no idea who might stumble upon your offer. Okay, so say for example, I wanted to type in how to rank on Google. Okay, and then I type that into Google, right? And there's going to be some search terms, and there's going to be people that rank in the top 5 or on the first page of Google, regardless of who they may be. So those search terms and those web pages are search engine optimized. So that's what the SEO stands for. That's what this stands for. Okay, in case you didn't know. So there's obviously ways to kind of optimize your rankings in terms of Google, and there's entire business models and people offering those as services to other businesses so that, people who are able to rank on the first page of Google, it's a pretty big deal, especially in the top 3, top 5. So if people literally just randomly type in a search term and they stumble upon your website or your offer, it's considered traffic you do not control because you don't know who is going to be seeing your offer. You don't know if the people who visit your website are even your target audience, even the people that you want to buy your products or even going to buy from you in the first place. So that's something to keep in mind. That is traffic you do not control. We want less of this because obviously the more control you have over who sees your offers, the better the conversions, and the more money is generated. So, number 2, traffic that you do control. This is mostly paid traffic or direct response marketing, which includes Google and Facebook ads as examples, where you can choose who will see your offer. Okay, so for Google, you can bid different amounts for specific keywords, and basically you will be able to pay Google to show your link to the certain, like we type in a terminology or a search term, and then there's obviously sponsored ads or sponsored links at the top there, and you would be paying Google, you would be bidding that amount, and then you would show up sometime within those sponsored links, right? So you have some control over that because you control how much you are willing to spend, how much you're bidding, and you're controlling what kind of link you're going to present to what kind of search terms that people type in. So that's some sort of control. For Facebook, it's a lot more control. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with how Facebook advertising works, you can have an ad, with a video or a picture, caption, stuff like that. And you can target people based on their gender, their interests, their behaviors, their demographics, right? So how old they are, where they live, and if they're into fitness, used to be able to target people based on their income, but they took that out ever since the Cambridge, scandal thing. But this is where you can choose who will get to see your offer, and you basically get to show your target audience your offer and your products and your services, right? So this is what we want. You need to be able to have some sort of control so that if you, say for example, spend $5 and you make $10 back, you double your money, then you want to be able to spend, $5,000 to make $10,000 or more, okay? And last but not least, number 3, traffic that you own. So this includes email lists, Messenger subscribers, SMS lists, Facebook custom audiences. I would also argue this includes like social media following. So if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, or if you have 20,000 likes on your Facebook page, even though the organic reach has dropped down, nosedived in the last couple of years, it's still considered somewhat of a asset and traffic that you own. Okay, so the difference between this and everything else is that you can drive this kind of traffic at no cost to you and at any time, relatively speaking. So I wouldn't say literally no cost, because you still need to have some sort of email software or autoresponder software to store all the email addresses that you want to mail to. And of course, maybe that could be a good few $100s a month, depending on how big your list is. But at any time, it's relatively speaking, because you still have to press some buttons, you still have to schedule posts and stuff like that. But this is where it's at in terms of marketing and in terms of where the money's really being made for businesses. So, of course, spoiler alert, this is the winner, right? Traffic that you own is the winner. So keep this in mind when you pitch your services to prospective clients or customers, okay? Because the majority of business owners, especially people who don't really do much online marketing or isn't very aware of this kind of stuff, they kind of just overlook traffic that you own. They overlook the importance of having an asset. Now, if people don't build their email lists or don't build their customer base in some way, because every successful business has some sort of database, right? Hopefully they retrieve that with ethical reasons or ethical ways, right? You don't just buy that off of somebody who's just selling the information. But that's the importance of an asset, so that whenever you have a relevant offer or relevant piece of content even, you can show your target audience your offer or your piece of content without spending any money and without spending more money to get more customers in. You're basically retargeting the same audience so that you can minimize your advertising costs while maximizing the revenue and the profits. Okay, so this is why it's so important to build out the email lists and Messenger subscribers and build out social media over time organically with targeted real followers, right? Because it's just so valuable and it's such an asset that if you have a big enough asset where you own the traffic, you really don't need to do any of these two. okay? Or at least rely on these two. So an example of traffic you do not control is, say for example, you post something and it goes viral. You literally have zero control over who sees that, okay? So, but it's still really good traffic if it can be a very targeted offer to somewhat of a audience that could be interested in your products. There's a lot of people that have gotten rich or made a lot of money from viral posts and stuff, but the less money that you need to spend on traffic you control, such as paid traffic and paid ads and direct response marketing, the more you can focus on traffic that you do own and making more money that way. So this is why it's important to keep this in mind when you're pitching to clients and customers, because they're just so caught up with spending money to make money when it's not as simple as get 20% off your meal, or get 20% off your chiropractor adjustment, or it's not as simple as just giving an offer, right? You have to be able to entice them. You bribe them with some sort of freebie that's very valuable to them, and in exchange for the free offer, you get their email or their phone number and stuff like that. You get that lead, and then over time you can market to them again and again as long as they want to stay on your list, right? So if your prospect or your client isn't doing any of this, it's much easier to sell if you can present to the fact and the idea that you need to be able to have a customer base so that you can market to over and over again without spending money, right? And this is one of the biggest things differentiating successful businesses and the dying businesses, because 99% of the businesses that don't do this, they'll be failing. If not, they've already failed very quick. Okay, so it's a very quick overview and a high level kind of glance at the three types of traffic. But if you don't know this, now you know, and these are very important terminologies in terms of the whole world of internet marketing. And I do want to say that I was not the one who created these terminologies or these terms. This guy named Russell Brunson, he's a very famous internet marketer. He has his own software called ClickFunnels, and he basically, himself, changed the entire internet marketing industry with his books and his tactics and his software. So yeah, basically, he's awesome. So he's basically the one who kind of coined these terms here, and I don't take ownership for that, but I just want to present this information to you in case you don't already know it. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate your time. If you can please leave me a like and subscribe to this channel, I'd really appreciate that, as well as follow me on Instagram if that's your thing. And without further ado, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.